Let's take another question.
I really want to thank you first coming here and talking to us. And Cynthia, this question you just said that if we have any problem, we should call FBI if there is any concern. When my son passed away in the month of September, I have been making calls to Washington, D.C. office repeatedly. Every day I have been on the phone with FBI for more than 1 hour. One duty agent takes my call. Okay, somebody will call you. I don't get a call. Then next day I call again. For this has been happening for 4 months continuously. Nobody calls me back. Then I went physically to the Washington, D.C. office. And I went to a wrong office which was a little bit further then. And I was standing outside so that I will be able to talk to somebody. And there was, I don't know whether it was an FBI officer, he was the guard over there, and he saw me standing outside and kept on looking, and there was, I started crying, sitting on under the tree, and an elderly woman, a white American lady, approached me and said that, "What is wrong? Why are you crying?" And when she was talking to me, several other people gathered. And they told me, I said, I have come here to talk to some FBI officer regarding about my son's case, but nobody is talking to me. And then when that person who was standing on the gate saw that all these people are gathering out, then he came, approached me, and spoke to me and said that you are in the wrong office, you have to go to the other office. So I finally went to that other office, and they looked the pictures of my son. They listened to me. They were very nice to FBI officers or guards, I don't know who they were. And they said that, why don't you do one thing, why don't you make a call to the duty agent from here? And I had another, one of my son's friend who came with me. So I called the office, the duty agent, a lady picked up the phone, and I was on the speakerphone. I kept my cell phone on the speakerphone. And I said that this is Mrs. Singh, and she said, you know, Mrs. Singh, I'm not allowed to talk with the Singh family. And she hung up the phone, and the officer who was listening this, he said, I don't understand what is going on in this case. And what my concern is, you are the first person physically who has contacted me, and I told my daughter and my husband that I think we still have some good police officers who care about our sons.
Okay, I think, could it be just a bureaucratic maze that runs in federal agencies, or how do you explain what the delay in responding to her concerns on telephone?
I know you told me that account before of what happened to you, and I apologize that you were not given possibly the attention that you should have received at the outset in the FBI. But I don't know exactly what happened to your complaint. I didn't do any research to find out what happened. I just wanted to be able to address you as quickly as I could. But I think, as Brett has mentioned several times since we've been here, I think one very positive outcome of us addressing you this morning is that now you could put a face to a name, and you have business cards in your pocket, and you can talk to other people in your community if they have an issue that you hear about in a year and a half, and you can say, hey, you know what, I know someone who I've spoken to in the FBI who deals with this particular area. Let's try to get a hold of him or her and see what we can do. That's possibly the best result that could come out of this meeting this morning, is that there's putting faces to names and engaging in dialogue to be able to establish a relationship for the future, not just for your son's situation, but also to establish a relationship for the future, so that if anyone that you know of in your community has an issue or concern, as Brett mentioned, we can address that as quickly as possible without your complaint being lost or something else.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, my name is Walt Landry. We're being interviewed in this case right after an American election, and one of the things that the FBI has been responsible for is the protection of civil rights of the citizens of this country. And I was struck by the little information sheet which says that in order to attend the academy, you must not have had a prior felony conviction. Some 30 years ago, I was counsel to the Louisiana Constitutional Convention, and we got into the convention the rule that you automatically restored your citizens' rights upon completion of your sentence and of a felony. And many of the states have followed suit. In fact, I think Rhode Island just 2 years ago abolished that provision. But why would I find it in an FBI requirement for going to an academy, a place to learn? Seems like it's contrary to the principles that we are seeking in terms of universal civil rights for all our people.
Owens. Brett?
You're talking about what academy are you speaking to?
I'm referring to the Citizens Academy of the FBI.
The main reason that is in there is most of our citizen academies, first of all, are held at a local FBI field office. Our field office is, again, where we conduct numerous investigations and very sensitive investigations. So we're very careful of the individuals that we allow, first of all, to come into FBI space, definitely for security reasons. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And more importantly, in our Citizen Academy piece, it's a program that we offer through all of our 56 FBI field offices that anyone can come and participate in, and like Cynthia said, put a face with a name, to be able to talk with subject matter experts, to be able to speak to specific issues that they may have over a 6 to 8 week period. That being said, we share sensitive but unclassified information with the participants that come through our Citizen Academy. So we have to be very careful, first and foremost, who we have in our class. There's a trusted network. People want to make sure that they feel very comfortable, they feel that they can share information within that environment. But again, the most important part is that being in a secure facility is of the utmost importance to us.
This is a couple of questions. I understand your point that you have to follow a fine line of law. I also understand her question is that how do we hold the police more accountable? I also would like to know here is a mother who's lost her son, and here is a person who's lost a family member. Now, the verbal hate crimes, the threats, being a Sikh, being a black, being a Muslim, that exists. I guess it's not the onus on you, it's the people to get themselves intelligent. And also, as Cynthia pointed out, that if anybody else in the community has issues, they can put a face and a name to it. But we are lucky to be close to Washington, and we're lucky to have Manmohan ji and his wife being able to get you here. Now, the idea is that so many things just go underneath the current, and we are not able to even report those things. There are certain things which are below the radar screen. Let's say a person doesn't have Manmohan, doesn't have Cynthia, doesn't have a mother who's lost his son, doesn't have all of these, and what do? You know, don't you think so there is some responsibility on the FBI side? Say, guys, if you are not able to do that, something where it's easy for a mother not to stand in front of the Washington office and cry and be heartlessly felt how she feels. I'm just trying to find, is there another thing we can do where the police officers are accountable for their actions? I think you've just got the gist of my question.
What is this a proactive approach?
Our proactive approach, again, is through our community outreach program. The more that we can get out and engage the community to give them an avenue to feel engaged in knowing that they have someone to contact, that's the most important part. And it's also, I think, incumbent upon the communities to want to engage the FBI. Our biggest challenge is overcoming fear. Fear that the community has, lack of trust of law enforcement in general, and that's why we have to do a better job of getting out into community to make sure that those types of hurdles don't exist. And it's tough. The only thing that can overcome that is time and building a true partnership, and that's really what our motto is creating dialogue through partnerships. And those partnerships only exist based on a face-to-face, getting to know each other, not as a law enforcement agency, but just as people. And I think that's the most important part, and we need everyone's help that's in the audience today.